Makaya, and thank you once again for tuning in. This is Mind Over Matter, a safe space in Mbugeli where we get to talk about real life issues we face on a daily basis. I'm so excited Mbugeli, for the next 30 minutes. We'll be talking about a very important topic. I have an expert today on the show. I'm talking about Syabonga, a mental health expert. When I say that word,
Mbali, the introduction itself is just so mental health potent, it's so therapeutic, and so life-giving.
Yes, yeah. I think I should join the team now.
I was actually amazed at the color of your dress, because green is a mental health color. And I was like, okay, somebody's on point, like really hardcore
and I've been wanting, but it's fine. Welcome, Sheng, on the program.
Thank you so much.
We're so excited to have you. As we are talking about a very serious topic today. And then now with those kinds of everyone at Sito. Mshang, can you break down in mental health? Because a lot of people think that we understand. We understand what mental health is and what mental health can do to a person or what it stands for.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mguni. Special greetings to Umbugeli Ekaya. Yes. And thank you so much for having me today. Yes, I always believe in an attitude of gratitude. It's one of the pillars that sustain mental health. Mental health. Most of the time, nasicabanga mental health isicabanga kugula engqondweni. Sicabanga umntu nasekabuthe emaphepha, which is not far-fetched. Kukahle. But WHO defines mental health as a state of well-being. That's the starting point. It's a state of well-being, not well-doing. It's a state of well-being, not well-having. So many times we think mental health has everything to do with what you have. Because I have a nice car, I've got a healthy family. I mean, my mom, my dad is still there automatically. No, it has nothing to do with what you have. It's a state of well-being, whereby an individual recognizes his potential in terms of abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can live a meaningful life, and actually work productively within his community. That's a long definition at WHO. But we want to simplify it and say mental health is just how you regulate your thoughts in a manner that influences your emotions to relate positively with people, standing on positive philosophies or belief system as expressed by your physical wellness. So it sounds pentadimensional. There are 5 aspects to it. You can never say you are mentally healthy when you're not physically okay. If I diagnose you today with diabetes, cancer, already your thoughts will be all over the place. So there's a close line between physical well-being and mental health. But we also want to appreciate that the loss of a loved one in terms of relationships or a failed relationship has that connotation of affecting your thought processes. So you cannot separate mental health from the relationship aspect of things. But we also want to say who says what to you in terms of what you believe, your self-esteem, your self-confidence, your self-concept, your self-assertiveness. What is it that you believe about life? It affects the way you think. So mental health has got that pentadimensional overlay of affecting all these 3 things. So for us to say somebody's mentally healthy, somebody should be able to successfully manage all these 5 aspects. You are physically well, you regulate your thoughts, you keep your emotions in check. Keeping emotions in check has everything to do with experience the emotion, but express it in an acceptable way. Philosophical inclinations, what do you believe about yourself, about the next person, and about the future? But for the sake of this show, let's still borrow 2 other simple definitions of mental health. Just try to break it down. Human existence is under the continuous force of change. We are Tanzania noma utanzi. You're not the same girl you were 2 years back.
True.
You see, but in mental health, are you able to positively adjust to the changes in your life? So mental health is nothing but an art and a process of positively responding and adjusting to the changes in your life. Could be a relationship. You had somebody who meant a lot to you. Change comes, the relationship fails. Can you positively respond, adjust to it? So it has got that element of don't fight the change, but respond positively to the change. Then you are mentally healthy. And then last but not least, mental health has that element of acceptance. How long does it take for you to accept the things you can't change? And how long does it take for you to adapt to the things that just cannot be changed? So mental health has got that element of accepting the things you can't change, adjusting yourself to the things that you can change. So it's a very broad subject. And I'm so grateful that we've got so many voices and speakers that have been speaking about the subject. But umhlaba wonke is shifting towards prioritizing mental health.
Yeah.
And the key takeaway for me, mental health, is the best gift you can ever give to yourself and the best gift you can ever give to people you care about is self-care and self-love.
Yeah.
And self-care and self-love will simply say prioritize your own mental health. Because in principle, you can't give what you don't have. If you are not mentally healthy, you will not make other people mentally healthy. It's an angry person who angers others. A worried person a worried person worries others.
Yeah.
But imagine a state where we were all pushing towards being mentally okay. That's what we would give to each other. But we are living in days in our society where everybody's dealing with some form of brokenness. And in our brokenness, we break others.
Yeah.
We need to rethink the subject of mental health.
Yeah, that's the reason why I said you're a mental health expert, because what a wow.
I appreciate
the
you,
explanation already is like, we are done, let's go home.
Yeah,
but when you are talking about that, there's a part that you mentioned, Kakulu, you repeated so many times, inzaba is stress, and also inzaba would say, but we can't accept that, we can't change certain things. Let's just bring it home. Talking about seasons, let's just talk about Christmas season, for instance. We would say that's a time where people gather together to celebrate. Loved ones, friends, everyone just gather together to celebrate. Lapho khona lo munye uyadiva ukuthi yadictsini ngathi I don't belong because of certain things. How does that affect people mentally? Lama seasons, let's say swajabulele, but kulabanye kuba inzaba libuhlungu.
Okay, thank you so much, Mgoni. Let's start with a recap. Mental health is not a station, it's a journey.
Yeah.
So that by default means mental health has a continuum. Singasho ukuthi kunesibuya noma kune-perimeter you can play within for us to say you are mentally healthy. There are two polars to it. There's a positive and a negative. The negative is when we say you are mentally ill. And WHO is saying let's now use more mentally disordered. But we also have that positive well-being where you are okay. Day-to-day living shifts us from positive, moving towards negative. But it's okay to stay somewhere in between, go back to positive. So why am I bringing that? It looks like human survival depends on seasons handing over to each other.
Yeah.
If you do well in one season, it prepares you for doing well in the better season. And if you don't prepare well in one season for the next season, you're highly likely going to collapse. So we are moving towards the close of the year where everyone will be doing a stock taking.
Yes.
But truthfully, we'll be going back to our families where I have this to show off. I had these goals and I achieved them. My brother started this and it's working out. But there are those of us who have nothing to show off.
Shengo, sorry to cut you off a bit.
Okay.
This is a very important one. I want us to have time to talk about it. Can you go for an air break? Nasibuya siqhubeka straight.
Brilliant.
Mbukeni sihleli nawe Mshengo, we're talking about a very important topic. Ngithembe ukuthi you're taking notes. But for now, we're going to go for a short one. We'll be back just after this. Welcome back, Mbukeli. You're still watching Mind Over Matter. And I have an expert, mental health expert, who's helping us through. Mr. Syabonga, Wagamambuza. Before you went for the ad break, seasons, because we want to keep up. You know, people are stressed, people are happy. It's a lot that's happening during this busy season. What can you say when it comes to that, and probably how can people cope with the season that we are talking about?
Okay, it starts with the name of the show, Mgoni. It's Mind Over Matter. Like seasons bring in the matter, but we want to tune in the mind to survive the matter. See, it actually says to me, people need to be continually reminded that the matter doesn't regulate you. It's your mind that regulates the matter. It's very, very important. So changes in seasons come with their own dictates and own expectations, but we want to encourage Mbukeli, stay in control. And you touched on a very important subject of stress. You know, one of the most beautiful gifts that we have as human beings is stress. Stress is not entirely bad.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in actual fact, in the space of psychology, mental health, we tend to acknowledge two kinds of stress. There's what we call beneficial or positive stress, and there's what we call detrimental stress, with the lack of a better word. Positive stress is called eustress. You know that when you are stressed about the type of Christmas you will have with your family, you tend to make certain positive things in preparation for embarrassment, for disgrace. So the stress then helps you to do better and have some kind of comfort in the near future. So that is what we call positive stress. But there comes a point in time where your stress overpowers you, where you can no longer cope with your stress, where the whole idea of going home for Christmas brings anger, hatred. Why was I neglected? Why was I deserted? My sister is the high achiever of the family. I have nothing to show off. My kids don't have Christmas clothes. Now, that's the kind of stress we call de-stress. And we want to package our messaging in twofold. Mbugeli Ekaya, it is very, very important to be aware of a season so that you can know how to regulate the season. It's a season that comes with a lot of pressure. Buy, buy, buy. It's a season that comes with a lot of show off, show off, show off. It's a season that comes with a lot of, I have this, I have that. But we want to say, having appreciated all the fruits that are existent, present in the summer season, Christmas, there are some fruits that are not producing fruit.
Yes.
So now, looking at the trees, that produce the fruits, I feel like there's one tree that we don't appreciate. It's the tree of a human being. It tells you that some people have produced and they have something to show off, but some people have not produced. Accept the uniqueness of your lane. Embrace the uniqueness of your lane. And then celebrate the fact that you are alive. You know, when we started the show, I was trying to emphasize and clearly bring the difference between human beings, human doings, and human havings. Most of the time, people celebrate us based on performance, based on doings. What have you been doing all throughout the year? Oh, I need to see my siblings and show off. But who am I before I show off? So some other people find themselves having some kind of an attenuated negative self-esteem because they've nothing that they think I've done so well. So we think we were just created to perform, as if our performance validates our worth. Since Nasiya Makaya, let's respect that I am before I perform. I am before I have. So I need to relate with my siblings, with my kids. Sometimes it's parents who go through a lot. You know, they've been paying serious school fees, umvana transitioning to IB, umvana transitioning a university. And the state of the matter says, you are not a good parent because you are not a good parent because you've taken them for vacation. You are a good parent because you are present.
But mshengo yini lekwenda lesenda sibadale noma ke lesenda sicabanga ukuthi I need to go and show off because I've worked hard noma because I'm a good parent. What is it that makes us think that this is all I need to show off? Gutsi, I'm a person, not because I'm a human being. Like you said, Gutsi, you're a human before the doings.
Amongst many factors, two things come to mind. The first one is affirmation. We are all hungry for that validation, that affirmation, that I am proud of you, that you are doing fine, that thank you, mommy. And we think sometimes it comes because of what we have done. And rarely have we been appreciated for being present. You are a good daughter because you've come home, not because you've come home with bread. So many a times from our upbringing, we are pursuing affirmation, and most of the time we want it externally. It never comes from within. Yet those who are full, who can validate and affirm themselves internally, the external validation comes as an icing. So we need to work on our pursuit of affirmation, set ourselves free. I am before I perform. I am before I have. Number two, it's the scourge of a generation of comparison. So many times we compare ourselves with with the people in our circle. You know, my friends have this. Ushadile lawyer, so nemvana lawyer, meaning said mvana, married for 6 years, and it feels like guhamba kahle kibo. Yet so many times when you look at your neighbor and you think grass is green on the other side, you miss the beauty of what you have. I have learned over the years that so many times we wish we could be someone, yet there are people who wish they could be us. And mental health simply says, just drive the point home, zero focus to yourself. What is it that you can appreciate? Did you know how much it takes to go for dialysis 3 times a week because your kidneys can no longer sustain you? And here you are in front of me, Mguni, you don't know the pain of struggling kidneys. You don't know do you know how heavy eyelashes are? You only know that when you are sick. But we are so much on pilot mode and we don't treasure the small things that make life worth a living. Girl, you can breathe without a struggle. Wait until you have flu and you see those nostrils blocked. You can actually tell, that I was blessed. So we are trying to shift people's focus from a place of, there's a lot that speaks inadequacy, but inadequacy is potent with adequacy. Just eliminate the in, you'll be shocked that there's a lot to appreciate about yourself. So December is saying we are all reflecting, we're all looking back, embrace the uniqueness of your lane. Acknowledge your circumstances and your environment. Just know your family. Because sometimes we expect KFC from Build It. Yeah. You just know your brother. He just has a personality thinking about attention. Bragging is his thing. Then don't compete with that person. Allow him to brag. After he's done with bragging, remind him that I'm still your brother. So we need to be aware of the season, be aware of our environment. Then we begin to adjust ourselves accordingly. You could be shocked that mental health is all about adjustment. How do you adjust to it? There's a principle that we use most of the time. Our lives are only 10% what happens to us. They are 90% how we respond to it. It's not what happens that is a problem. It's a matter of what do you do about it. Yeah. And we want to say, as a CI Makaya for Christmas, be careful of what we call the art of asking questions. Your response will always be tailored around the questions you ask yourselves. Avoid the question that says, why me? It leads to depression. Avoid the question that says, what will people say? It leads to a lot of inadequacy. Avoid the question that says, ganmine ngonani. Ask a question that says, what can I do about it? What can I learn from it?
What can I do about it? Mm-hmm. What can you do about it, Mbukele Kaya? That was a mouthful. Please make sure that you come back just after this. Which is very important, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back, Mbukele. You're still watching Mind Over Matter, a safe space where we get to talk about real life issues. Today, I have a mental health expert. Mbukele, let me tell you, today's episode, you're going to learn a lot and understand a lot of things, especially when you talk about seasons. The season that you're approaching, December season, and going home and being able to show something of it's not that important. You need to thank God that you're alive and appreciate yourself. Mm-hmm. Before you went for an air break, you were touching something very important, but now can we just go to this part, the important part, the challenges when it comes to mental health?
Thank you very much for bringing that up. Truth of the matter is, as you try to juggle everything that surrounds you, the same mind must deal with education, must deal with family, must deal with intimate relationships, must deal with finances, politics, state of the nation, like the same mind. And psychological studies are coming to say that it looks like the human brain sometimes functions like a cat. If a cat sees 5 rats and the cat wants to simultaneously catch all of them, highly likely the cat is not going to catch even a single one of them. But if the cat strategizes 1 rat at a time, it is highly possible to actually capture 3 out of the 5. Why am I bringing that? So many times we hear people saying, impilo ayihlangani, kude kwami lokuphilako. When people say that, they're actually saying, I am focusing on all the rats at the same time. Okay. And as soon as they come to us for counseling, we want to say 1 rat at a time. And they realize that there's a lot that is going on right. I just magnified and I focused more of the things that were not going right. So you spoke about mental challenges. That's where they start from. They start from perception. When we try to analyze, gather information, how has the year been? How have I been doing? And it looks like the subject of suicide lingers around more often in the season of Christmas and Festive, where people suddenly feel like, who really cares about me? Where people feel like, do I really matter? Well, why am I still alive? So we see a lot of suicidal ideations, and mind you, WHO says it's a profound statistic, that 1 in every 3 people has had a challenge that made them contemplate suicide. That's how severe the subject of suicide is. But sometimes it's not just suicide as a subject. Suicide always comes with depression, because suicidal people are not weak. Suicidal people are just making an announcement. I've tried everything. Nothing seems to be working out. So most of the time you find that this person deals with depression for the longest time until they reach a point that says, you know what, ungathi neke kushintshe lokho. It could be finances, which is a problem. Besikhuluma ngadvula nje celebrating. We're celebrating the whole idea of dvula. But you know that the perception of dvula can be psychological security versus the real money that people have. Because you start budgeting on money that has not yet come into your hand, yet you've got debts and needs. And then all people who are connected to you have expectations. Then you come out of your comfort zone to live a life to please everyone. Lo and behold, you are now in debt. But so most people, you find that depression knocks in the subject of finances, you know. But sometimes it's the subject of relationships, where we knew you to be connected to Mr. Mabuza, and along the course of the year, you know, life happened, and two people love each other, but they can't be together. But you are still seen as umguni wa Mr. Mabuz. How do you cope with that? You've got memories with the person, but the relationship is not there. It's not there. The relationship is not there. You know. So you find that people then resort to the negative coping strategies. You're gambling, because gambling is surfacing pretty soon. People are trying to, you know, get rich overnight, and easy come, easy go. That's the problem. And the whole gambling thing is so deceptive, because you place one bet, it looks like today is my lucky day. You place everything is gone, and your mind says, I am gubambisi much. Then we have a problem. And out of excitement, people feel like, let me drink my problems away. Only to find that their mental capacity on that particular day could only tolerate a certain amount of alcohol. Now you've exceeded, and then boom, so psych. So we then see those habits encroaching in the name of trying to cope. We want to repackage our messaging in the whole subject of mental challenges to speak about the issue of resilience. Stay resilient, our dear and beloved Mlaleli. You know, these issues will come, they will knock at your door, you know. Everyone has an iPhone, you don't. And it's amazing what is happening in our phones. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. But it's amazing what is happening in our phones, because most people can really concentrate 20 minutes. Because WhatsApp has taught you to talk to Peter, to talk to Mandla, to talk to Mandla, at the same time. And you're looking forward to who's answering, who's not answering. And by default, you are conditioning your brain to develop anxiety. Who liked my message? Who did not like? Who read my message? Because it's so funny how we post something and we read the same thing, and then we go to view who actually... Exactly. What's the whole point to it?
Who's commenting? Who's saying what?
Who's actually commenting? And we are by default raising a mindset of generalized anxiety disorder, which will give us some kind of even phobias in the long run. Your social phobia. People are no longer comfortable in going in open spaces because maybe they will see me as that person. But we want to say, in the midst of all that, calm down, chill, relax. Put your mental health on the top. You know, having put your mental health on the top, do some kind of a self-reflection and a self-diagnosis. Am I happy? Am I not happy? What's taking my happiness? What can I do to be happy? Because it is a lie and a fallacy to think that someone owes you happiness. Your happiness is based on happenings. Make happenings happen for you to be happy.
Can you say the last part again? Your happiness?
No one owes you happiness. Your happiness is based on happenings. You need to make happenings happen for you to be happy.
Amen to that, Mshe.
It's very important.
I hope Babukele Maka heard that properly. But we deserve another episode because, you know, it's a lot. Mbukeli, that was Mr. Syabonga Wakamabuza. Kumsenza bale mtwaka kakhulu Mbukeli inzaba ye mental health. He's talking about a very serious topic. You've learned something. I've learned a lot. Whatever he's talking about is something I can relate to. Make sure that you tune in again next week, Mbukeli. Same time from me, Mbali Semelani, and the rest of the amazing team sitting inside. We love you.